it were me and I was trying to... Alright, first of all, what the fuck? And I was trying to devise a way to make Battlegrounds a more interesting esport. You'd have to have a bunch of local tournaments, smaller tournaments. And then the qualification for Lobby Legends, that is where the lion's share of the distribution of the money goes out. That all the people that make it to Lobby Legends, each of them, you know, top 16, they each make $500 or whatever it would be, $1,000 if they're whatever they're doing for the monthly thing. And then the winner gets a little bit extra, because really it's all of the games that you're playing that represent who is the better player, not who gets lucky in the local sample size of 7 games and has the best main event or whatever. Very much more like, you know, the poker distribution. Making the final tables is a huge sum of money. Instead of it all being like, did you just get lucky in the final game type of thing. Then again, like they've obviously shown that there's no interest in it. So if there's no interest in it, move on with our lives. We're all moving on. Won't stop us from complaining about it though. It is the internet's way. First hero power? Yeah. Interesting. Turn 8 6-star with Elise. There's also a turn 8 6-star with our hero power. And Forsaken's pretty damn solid here. It's 3 bodies at 3 damage. Bofur's a secretly a pro poker player. You can take inspiration from other formats that exist without being an expert on the format. I'm not a pro poker player. I don't view professional or making money off poker online right now as a feasible avenue. I think it has been in the past. I think it's getting worse by the week, by the year, by the whatever. 2021 was really good for the poker boom. Yeah, just taking advantage of the people that work from home and have more time and whatnot. People that wanted to jump in to do it that weren't as optimal in the way that they're playing multi-table type methods in that time period. I had a buddy that did it in that time period. Tried to get me into it. It's just not me. Just not my thing. You get an extra gold. But not as bad as it once was. Yeah, I would agree with that. But it's not 2005. Just play daily fantasy sports now? You might as well just buy scratcher tickets, bro, with the odds of that. Just go out right now and buy a scratcher. You got about the same likelihood of making the money back. But Bofur, I can control. I can control with the fantasy sports. These are both so good. Yeah, you have a little bit of control. You're not wrong. You have a little bit of control. This much control. People that make money doing fantasy sports do such a ridiculous amount of data analysis as a full-time job for them. Everyone else is just playing slots. And even that is kind of a hard one to quantify. That yes, I completely agree with your statement, but it's really easy to get a skewed view of how feasible the method is if the people that succeed are the ones posting stuff and all the people that fail are just remaining quiet. That there's such a large portion of the money that goes in that's taken by the house that like you have to have a huge edge in that kind of stuff to be going positive enough to be making a living off of it. Not to mention have a huge amount of funding behind you. If you're taking, 20% rake or whatever, and you're living off of that. And that's like a huge edge, right? And most fantasy sports are like 15, 20, $50 type buy-ins. Yeah, I got a nice $10 payout here on average. I'm going to have to do that a lot of times in a day to start making enough money to live on. So, you were supposed to die, buddy. My boy. Second best hit, right? Best hit Summoner, second best hit Colossus. We got ourselves a nice little Anub rock line here. Don't really play for the reborn synergy nearly as much in this kind of composition. If you got Death Whisper, you'd be awkwardly trying to get these things to buff like this or this. Like bleh. It's not a fort. The other options are, you gotta hit a lot to make them work. Like this game was won partially off of Summoner. Remember, we had Eternal Knights on turn 4. But it was also having Death Whisper for a little bit. But if you look at that board, how much value did we get off Death Whisper at the end? We had Death Whisper on that board for like 6 turns. And you look at the amount of stats on our board, there's only 2 minions that were actually being buffed in the long term. That's not what won the lobby. It did give us some stability in the mid game. That's all it really did. Stability. Criminiminu! Criminiminu! Eh, not the world's worst hits. Just a little bit short. I think Death Whisper's mid. I mean, it's just a good tempo card. And it's one of the cards that is going to overperform at lower MMRs and drop off toward upper MMRs because people will play toward more big stat boards as opposed to more stuff like this. Not bad by any means. Colossus. This is debatable. Do you like power level Putricide? I think Putricide is a tier 3 hero. Alright. Yep. This is what we're talking about right here. Right there, right there. Is there ever Baron in this scenario? Definitely. Like 100% of the time. This is kind of awkward. We could just take 3 summons off the summoner just to get them. But this is what we want, right? Combination of Nubarak, Eternal Summoner. We get the Colossuses because they get to be huge. Colossi. We just want Reborn now. Substitute this thing for the give Reborn minion. Use this for the short term, and the long term just taunt up one of these guys or something. Get 2 of the Reborn dudes and just get a noob summoner. Spawn a billion things. I think we'll do it this way. What is Titus? It's Baron. Baron came back to life. Just has a slightly different card text now. Fuck off, Bob. We always were at that risk that he could just snipe that thing immediately. Minimal scaling. Not even a noob died. Could you kill a noob? Please? Thank you. At least we got it, even though Baron died first. That was one of the worst combat outcomes we could have gotten. And we didn't even deal 15 to him. Everything sucks. Stackable? Correct. Additively stackable. But stackable, nonetheless. Fell Stomper? Not sure Death Whisper's actually a play here. Could be for 1 turn. We could taunt up you, sell this. If we think he's trivial. Then you put Death Whisper on the board for 1 turn to get this health pool off of the ground. And that way you don't get killed by tech cards. I don't think we really need Fell Stomper. We're talking about a 1 turn type of thing here, though. I don't like taunting Colossus, because, you know, once again, tech cards. But it's kind of fallen out of favor very quickly to use the stupid Archer card. Like, a lot of people overvalued that thing early on. Nowadays, it's kind of gone by the wayside. I can't we just get the reborn, dude? Hey, we got the reborn, dude. I'd argue you get rid of Titus and Anub or Rock. I mean, Titus still works for Eternal Summoner value, and I'm not sending Anub anywhere. Anub's on my board for the foreseeable future. Like, getting reborn on Eternal Knight, if we get lucky that it 50-50s it, is about the same value as Titus being on the board for Summoner. So, like, we downgrade by 4 attack permanently on all of our minions by selling a noob. And on top of that, the upside is that we need to have 3 open spaces or 4 open spaces that we could get 1 extra summoner. I don't think so. Can't believe you're seriously answering questions instead of being pedantic. Pedantic. It's my way. Well, if we hero power now, if we get this triple, we could take it. I don't think we ever take it. Okay, so these are trash. So we sell Death Whisper. We run Soul Splitter. We either reborn this or this. We got our health off the floor, so we're perfectly happy with that. We can pull you up. Freeze for Soul Splitter. We're not freezing for Colossus. I mean, we technically could if we think that that's the sellable minion. Sorry for repeating the question, but why do I get a negative point for 4th? Because it averages your points for ties. Did you die with a 4th, 5th, 6th, or whatever? So say, for example, you died on the same turn, all 3 of these guys died on the same turn, you get points for 7th, even if it showed you at 6th or 8th. It also could be that the lobby that you played against was really weak. You get points based upon the average, basically your matchmaking versus their matchmaking, without going too deep into that conversation. Look, he's running the tech card. It's so good here. Because we set ourselves up to take it. Madge. Alright, game. Alright, game. I don't like this at all. Why you this way? He gets a Leroy from the Coiler. This guy's such a baller. It's fine. It's whatever. It's just whatever, you know? He's just whatever. He gets the ghoul with the Baron on the board to pop his combo into a Leroy from the Coiler. Fair enough, brother. Well played. Alright, so the good cards in this scenario are what? Do we hero power for 7 gold? We could play a summoner here. If we think the round's ending soon, we get out of Anub and Titus soon enough. I would never take this. Greed it one more turn. Why not golden it? It gives 2 reborns. Yeah, it's okay. And the fact that we have the extra summoner is a reasonable line. The upside of it is not that high. Baron! I think if once we get the other summoner, we do potentially do it though. Well, it does? Yeah, it gives 2 death rattles. Or 2 reborns to targets. It's very, very close. Okay. So he has no future. We're good against this guy. And we're good against that guy? Okay. So we should win this. And we get a ghost. So this is definitely greetable now. The fact that we have 3 minions we need to replace on the board and removing a reborn minion from the board, not exactly a feels good moment. Go Mega Buster. Alright, so we never won any 6s. So we're done hero powering. We could get the Golden Baron. If we read this guy as trivial, which we could play Titus here on the board. Because like reborn Anub twice here and double effects that stack. We can get this up to 50 attack next turn. It's relevant against this guy. It's not really relevant here. I mean, it's fun. We like fun. Just get Golden Titus. Zap's pretty pointless. Play for the greed. The greed. Yeah. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, good luck getting this reborn. Now this is a good tech card right here. Getting it out all the way up to like 30s so they can one-shot 2 minions. That's the good shit. Alright, pretty good. Good enough. Yeah, we didn't get punished for the greed. We went for the top scaling. And then we'll pop back in to stomp this board. Bro, playlist is chilling today. Makes me happy. Actually, probably the play, right? Because we're perfectly happy pulling this off the floor. It's unlikely to be used. You gotta be down. Which means we either run Coiler or we run 2 Barons, which is just silly. So this goes off the floor. I was going to use it here, potentially, too. And then we run Coiler. Unless we don't want to get griefed by Coiler, we can just run Mantid and hope it adapts. And Leroy. Okay. It's fine. I really don't want to get griefed by Coiler. If we throw a bunch of garbage on the board and it overwrites Summoner Reborn plus Death Rattles for all the big minions, I think we're fine with Ghoul. Like, it just kind of game over. There's not much he can do to deal with the Ghoul. This did not adapt appropriately. You need to get Divine Shield or health. Big thing smash. GG. Question is, do we kill him? I guess. That's the bigger question. And that's gonna be a no. 6, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18. They're 2 stars. Aw. He gave up. Baron doesn't seem good in the Spectral Knight comp, works with a noob, but sometimes gets in the way with Summoner Reborns. Yeah, but like, let's say it gets in the way of Summoner Reborns. Then that means you summoned at least 3 Eternal Knights, right? And while that is a downside, how big is that downside? If it gets in the way of the Summoner reborning because the Baron summoned additional Eternal Knights, yeah, we'd rather have the Eternal Summoner reborning to do it again. But it's not like we're losing full value. We're getting an extra Eternal Knight in its place. But really, it's here because combination of Ghoul and this board, and the fact that we didn't find a better minion to put in this place. Putting anything else on the board that's undead, that is not reborn, is just going to make these guys not reborn. Hence the reason why we didn't love tripling this, because we could keep these two, have 2 reborn minions that double trade, and still target both of these guys. Like, another one of this would be better than this. Mechajiraxis? Naturally, Mechajiraxis. Ooh, reborn for things I don't have on my board. I see. Ooh, spicy. Ooh, Death Whisper. Active downgrade. Ooh, a new Barak. Actually, a noob's good. Oh, no, it isn't. Never mind. Baron. It blows itself up and reborns. Fuck it. Why funny? Because he already conceded. Boom. I'll take it. All right. So, yeah, that game was pretty straightforward. We got Undead given to us. We won lobby. Classic Undead lobby. Self-Exodia. We exploded our own board for lols. But yeah, that was 3 games. 3 Undead games. Still keeping our bonus. Our win rate behind the scenes is pretty decent this season. Outside of day 1 where we were doing a lot of experimenting.